The homework. Let's see, it says solve the following systems using matrices by hand, i.e., no calculator. I guess I'll do number two. When you do number one, you do need to be familiar with that. And I know some kids just aren't going to do it, but you're going to have x minus 6y equals 0. Your little matrix is going to look like -1, 2, bar, -2, 1, -6, bar, 0. You're going to take it from there. The first thing is to write the matrix. See, this is coming over. Let's talk about this matrix. She's going to be 2, 2, 0, bar with a 50, 1, 1, -1, 0. There are no x's. 0, a -2, 1z, and a -5. And we need to be thinking about our goal. Our goal here is to be 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 with some constants. And this one I don't think is going to be too bad. I am going to, and I really would like it if you would list your row operations, but I'm going to take row 1 and I'm going to cut it in half. Because if I do, I'll have a 1 here, which is part of my goal. 1, 1, 0, 25. And my next goal is to have a 0 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do row 2 is row 2 minus row 1. Because if I do 1 minus 1, I have a 0. And I know this is where some kids struggle, but that's a row 2 operation, so it has no effect on row 1. It has no effect on row 3. The easiest thing to do on these is to make a copy mistake. Anyways, if I do 1 minus 1, I get a 0. If I do 1 minus 1, I get a 0. If I do -1 minus 0, I still have -1. If I do 0 minus 25, I have -25. And I've got this one the way I want it. All right. Now, I need something there. Actually, first off, I need a 0 there, don't I? That has to be a 0. So that's where I'm going to start now. So I'm going to multiply it by 2 and add that row. Row 1 is 2 row 1s plus row 3. That's what's going on here. Actually, I don't want to do that at all, do I? Ignore that. Oh, bummer. Oh yeah, that's the problem is if I double row 1, I'm in trouble. Is there a way to avoid fractions on this thing? I don't want to mess with anything I've already done. Maybe I should have done a row swap earlier in the game. That might have been something worth thinking about. Really don't want to introduce fractions. Row 2 is row 2 minus row 1. I guess it's going to have some fractions. It's going to have some decimals. Well, that stinks. I guess what I need to be working with here is to get a 0 here, I need to be working with this row right here. All right. So row 1 is row 1 plus 1/2 of row 3. Because half of a -2 is -1. 1 plus 1/2 of 0 is still 1. 1 plus 1/2 of -2 is 0. 0 plus 1/2 of 1 is 1/2. 25 plus half of -5 is 22.5. I want there to be a number here, a 1. So I'm going to do a combination of a row swap and something else. Row 2 is negative 1/2 row 3. And row 3 is the old row 2. So row 2 is actually going to get shifted. This one's coming up and I'm taking half of it. Half of 0 is still 0. A negative half of negative 2 is 1. A negative half of 1 is negative 1/2. And a negative half of negative 5 is 2.5. The good news is I'm seeing some things I like. It's really easy to make a 0 here. It is. It's really easy to make a 0 there. Row 1 is row 1 plus 1/2 of row 3. So 1 plus half of a 0 is 1. 0 plus half of 0 is still 0. A half plus a half of a negative 1 is 0. Got some numbers here. But half of row 3 would be negative 12.5. And 22.5 plus negative 12.5 is 10. Then 0, 1, negative 1/2, 2.5. 0, 0, negative 1, negative 25. 2 more steps and I should be done. I want this thing gone. Row 2 is row 2 minus half of row 3. I haven't done this by hand in years. It used to be in the standards. I can still remember doing it as a kid. So anyways, taking away half of 0 is still 0. Taking away half of 0 from 1 is still 1. If you take away half of negative 1, you're actually adding a half, which gives you 0. If you take half of negative 25, you get 12.5, right? So 37.5. And the last thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it right now, row 3 is row 3 divided by negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 25. A little interested in that 37.5 there. So I'm going to pause this real quick and check it. I actually did make a mistake. I thought that was 25. It's not, it's 2.5. So right here, half of a negative 25 is negative 12.5, and if you subtract negative 12.5 from 2.5, you get 15. There we go. That's the right answers. All right, 7 and 8. Find the reduced row echelon form of the following matrices by hands. I really want you guys to attempt at least one 3 by 3 by yourself. If you're doing this one, this would be one of the first things I would do. By the way, swap those rows. But I'll look at 7, because why not? And I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to make row 1 be row 2. It's called a row swap. And row 2 is going to become row 1. Just going to swap rows. The reason I'm doing that is because I want that 1 right there. That's the deal. Now I know I want this to be a 0. That's what it's supposed to be. So row 2 is row 2 plus 3 row 1s. So negative 3 plus 3 1s is 0. 2 plus 3 negative 9 plus 3 negative 3s is negative 7. And 10 plus 3 negative 22s is negative 56. Now, I'm going to go after this guy next. Row 2 is row 2 divided by negative 7. Why am I doing that? Because I'm finally getting my groove back on. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1, and I'm pretty sure 7 times 8 is 56, so there's an 8. I want this to be a 0 now. So again, row 1 is row 1 plus 3 row 2's. 1 plus 3 zeros is still 0, or 1. Negative 3 plus 3 ones is 0. 3 eighths makes 24, and negative 22 plus 24 is 2. So I know that x is 2 and y is 8. All right. Save and 8 for y'all. And I'm going to move on with my life after I pause this and go answer it quick. So now you're allowed to use a calculator. So you shouldn't have any problems with this. But that being said, you juniors are special. You really are. It says you must show your augmented matrix and the results of REF. So this is going to come over here. There's going to be a 4 in the x position. There's no y's. There's a z. And there's going to be a 0 now because there's nothing on the right. 2, 1, 0, negative 3, 1, negative 1, 1, 5.5. There is the augmented matrix. So second matrix edit. She is a 3 by 4. She's got a 4, a 0, a 1, a 0, a 2, a 1, a 0, a negative 3, a 1, a negative, whoops, a 1, a negative 1, a 1, and a 5.5. I can feel myself getting pretty tired here, so I'm going to check. It's been a long morning. I've been up since a little after 4. And it's 10:30 now, so I've already had a long day. See, you're supposed to quit out. Second matrix math, REF, second matrix A, and there she is. This is kind of cool. You can go to math, answer frac. Anyways, x is negative 5 halves, y is 2, and z is 10. Let's see, I'll look at 11 for you. I'm hoping one of these is interesting. Here's my augmented matrix. I didn't explain what was going on. I moved things around. Like this x becomes negative. There's the y column. There's no z. There'd be a 0 on the right. I just moved things around. Let me answer this question on youth suicide, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, and I'm back. Second matrix, edit, still a 3 by 4. One 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 three, negative one negative 1 0 0, 0 3 2 0. So second quit. After you do these a whole bunch, you can just scroll up and highlight. There we go. There's my result. 1 0 0 2 0 1 0 negative 2 0 0 1 3. So I know that x is 2, y is negative 2, and z is 3. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm not. What have I done here? I've done 2, 3, 4. Feels like it's missing a page. It goes from 1 to 2. It goes from 1, 2, 7, 8. Interesting. If I need to edit that some. For now, I'm done. I need to look at the original document and see if something's missing.